what's happening on Buchanan Street and who must answer for it. Let's get into it. All right. So if you own a business on Buchanan or you care about the Black businesses surviving in Nashville, y'all, this is not noise. This is a policy decision that was quietly advanced, poorly communicated, and strategically timed, and the harm is already happening. So tonight is the Planning Commission hearing. If this continues, it's going to go, it'll go back to Metro Council, and we need to be very clear about who made this happen and what accountability looks like. So this commercial overlay, it was introduced and moved forward. It places new restrictions on businesses along Buchanan Street. Now, it does things like require patios to be 100 feet from a residential property, imposes an 11 p.m. cutoff for like music, a curfew basically, and it adds operational limits that disproportionately affect nightlife, culture, and community-based Black businesses. And so for some owners who I've actually spoken with, especially those locked into long-term high-dollar leases, this is not a minor inconvenience. It is an existential threat. Do you hear me? Now, how was it done? Let's talk about the process, because this is where accountability begins. I'm going to be showing y'all some stuff, because all of this stuff that I researched and I looked up, this is all public knowledge, okay? You can do the exact same thing, and actually I am encouraging you to do this in more than just this situation. This is reactive, what we're having to do, right? I'm going to give you some, we're going to talk about being more proactive, right? So we can see like things like this coming. We can expect that, and then we can act accordingly, okay? So October, as you can see in October, the overlay is briefly mentioned in Brandon Taylor, who is the council person for District 21. That is the area that is where Buchanan is. Brandon Taylor, he is in his second term, and he just won his race in 2023. Now, he ran against Jamel Campbell-Gooch. We will talk more about that later. However, he has a newsletter, a district newsletter that he posts to pretty regularly. And in October, it's the last time he posted in his newsletter to this date. And a commercial overlay is briefly mentioned in this district newsletter. It's no explanation, no outreach, no warning to business owners here, right? So you can see it's couched between some things. We're talking about some other stuff, but yeah, it's in here a little bit. You know, this may be coming to something near you or whatever, but just know it was a little something there. But you would have to be somebody who regularly is reading through all of his newsletters and catch that little bitty thing. And then this one was actually connected to another a proposal, right? Not the current one. This one had other council people on it, and it wasn't as detailed. It didn't specifically lay out Buchanan. So I can't tell by just looking at it what exactly what the first one was about. But on November 25th, right, this is the one that is at play right now. So this one is the overlay that is formally filed. Now, this time it doesn't have any other council people attached to it. It is solely councilperson Brandon Taylor. Now, December 4th, it passes the first reading at Metro Council. And, you know, I learned that most items pass routinely on first reading, right? That's not when it's a public hearing, not people just coming out and talking. Things routinely pass, except, you know, I guess if there is some big commotion over it, or, you know, it had to be some kind of organized opposition or something. But like in this case, it didn't happen. It passes on the first reading at Metro Council. And so between the time that last newsletter came out, I believe it was October 25th, through December, there were no town halls, no community meetings. There are never any, right? It doesn't really do those. No direct notification to business owners, and no new newsletters. No new newsletters, right? I mean, literally none. And so business owners are now saying they were never alerted, right? Signs were not posted directly on Buchanan. They were posted maybe in the district and other streets and places, but not directly on Buchanan where people would actually see them, right? And then start looking more into them, like what happened on yesterday when one of the business owners came out. He sees it and he's like, you know, what's going on? He has to go down the codes, and if they tell him what's going on, he's like, what? And so then they start organizing, and they're like, hey, y'all, we need help. Y'all come out. This is not okay. But this was right. It was about to go under the radar, like just literally like that. And let's imagine how many other things that went under the radar with this council person. Maybe y'all should go through his other newsletters. I have a whole list of them. Okay, so signs are not posted directly on Buchanan. Many learned about this days before a critical hearing, y'all. This is not engagement, y'all. That's not engagement, baby. This was avoidance. This was, I'm trying to get this to get done, right? Whatever I've been paid to get this done. Yes, right? Y'all gotta follow the money. I'll go back into that in a minute. All right, so let's talk about who's responsible. Right? This proposal did not appear out of thin air. It was submitted and supported by Councilman Brandon Taylor. Listen, I'm speaking with direct knowledge. I helped run a successful council race in District 1 in 2023, and I consulted in the race against him. And so I reviewed all those newsletters, his public communications, and his disclosures in detail. And what we saw then is exactly what we're seeing now. There were no regular constituent meetings. That wasn't happening back then either. It was reliance almost entirely on newsletters, major policy moves quietly embedded among unrelated updates, and chronic inaccessibility to the community. Y'all, this is not a misunderstanding. It's a pattern of governance. So, like I was trying to tell y'all, when these types of things happen, we gotta follow the money. Keep your eyes, right? Keep your eyes on the money. Public financial disclosures, y'all, are available to anyone. They show substantial support from real estate interests, construction companies, PACs, and political insiders. Donations may be legal, but when policy outcomes consistently favor development interests over long-standing Black businesses, or even newer Black businesses who are just trying to make it in this city that is supposed to be for all of us, right? But when these types of things happen, the public has the right to question alignment and intent. Transparency is not optional when the impact is this severe. So, why this is gentrification in policy form? Let's be honest, y'all. We know this is how displacement happens, right? It's not with a bulldozer, but it's with zoning. It's with overlays. It's with curfews. It's with the quality of life language that criminalizes Black culture. We can call it what it is, right? Change the rules mid-lease, and then you don't have to evict anyone. Right? They leave because they can't survive. So, let's talk about what accountability looks like starting today. So, y'all, we're flooding his inbox. Period. Email brandon.taylor@nashville.gov. He says, hey, if you guys want to talk to me, come over here, and I invite all District 21 residents to reach out to me directly with any information or concerns in our community. And he puts it in bold. Email is the best form of communication, right? But he says, but I invite you to call me as well. Now, he says that here, but people have said he will cuss you clean out. Now, and I'm going to bring this up real quickly because he cussed out one of my friends, and I don't like that. And I'm talking about somebody who I know is a disruptor, somebody who I know is who fights, but more importantly, someone who is an older woman in our community, right? You don't need to be cussing out little old Black ladies. I heard he turned around and told her she's a motherfucking lie. Those are the words that he used when he spoke to her. Many people saw it. And let me tell you something. Absolutely not. That is not the type of shit we're accepting from our council people. Nobody put you in office to be talking crazy to old women. What you got going on? Who raised you? Oh, okay. So anyway, Okay, and number 2, I need y'all to contact your council member. Like, literally contact your council member. Hit them up wherever. I don't care what district you're in, because on the 20th, it is going in front of the council. Then all of the council people are going to have to vote on this. So you need to let them know what you want, what you expect, how horrible this is, that this is even going on. And then maybe you want to check with some of the ones who actually some of the ones who are on his financial disclosures, and also some of the ones who were on that other proposal. There was another overlay proposal. Like, let's contact them and figure out, hey, what was that about? What area were y'all targeting? Because it has some of the same things. It has some of those same qualifications and same restrictions that they're now imposing in this one. So let's talk to that person as well. Again, you can see it right here. It's public knowledge. Which council people were on it right here. Hit them up and let's ask them some questions, and then also email your other council people. And then number 3, let's start holding these endorsers accountable, right? If an organization or elected official endorsed him, we need to be asking them publicly, what due diligence did you do? And will you intervene now? Right? Like, literally, that's important. That is important in this community. when you just can't, and I know for a fact, I know some people who won't even endorse just because of that. They're like, oh no, I'm not endorsing because I don't even, I don't know. I don't want my name on anybody. And I understand that, right? My thing is this, you just need to hold them accountable. Like, what's going on? And maybe you can hold them accountable prior to endorsing them. That could be great. All right. And then number 4, we need to document everything: screenshots, emails, timelines. The record matters, right? This record matters, y'all. This wasn't accidental. It wasn't rushed. It was quiet on purpose, y'all. And silence is no longer an option. So I want to close with this, because accountability doesn't stop with elected officials. It also belongs to us. If we have been doing our own research, we have been reading newsletters critically, checking voting records, reviewing financial disclosures, instead of just blindly following endorsements or choosing the candidate who felt more socially acceptable, right? We wouldn't be standing here right now. We would not be watching someone sell out our community from under us, in front of us. So they're doing it through quiet policy moves that most people just never saw coming. And so endorsements are not leadership. Optics are not accountability. And proximity to power is not protection for our people. This is what happens when we outsource our discernment. When we assume someone else did the vetting for us. When we prioritize comfort over clarity. Being proactive means more than showing up when the harm is already in motion. It means paying attention before the vote, before the filing, before the first reading. Because the truth is, gentrification doesn't announce itself. It hides in paperwork. It moves in newsletters. It advances when people are tired, busy, and trusting. We cannot afford goldfish memories. Like my friend so eloquently said when she was just bringing up all of the frustration over people actually going in about Pastor Jamal Bryant's wife and the inappropriateness of her dress, versus concern about the fact that an ICE agent literally just killed a woman and a whole president of a country just got kidnapped and forced into our American criminal justice system. And we learned about a dress. So yeah, she said that, we got goldfish memories, y'all. We can't afford to have these things. We can't afford political convenience, and we cannot afford to keep confusing representation with protection. If we want to preserve our communities, our culture, and our businesses, we have got to start moving differently. Starting now.